Live from Sorrento, this is The World Today with your host, Jack Jones.
Hello everyone and welcome to the first ever episode of The World Today Road Trip. It's really us going on road trip around destinations which we're staying at, so we broadcast at. So at the moment we're broadcasting live at Sorrento and on the Mornington Peninsula, and I'm your host, Jack Jones. Coming up quite soon this month is Easter, so tonight's episode is all about Easter. The first time you've watched The World Today with Jack Jones, it's about the important news to us, but it isn't actually on TV news. So on tonight's show, the man who spent every day for the last 10 years painting 10,000 real eggs and hanging them on his tree. And to the iPad 3 in Tech Corner. How people are wanting a refund. And finally, the real flying car in Australia. That's all on tonight's show, so let's get started. Next, we have the man who has spent 10 years painting 10,000 eggs, real chicken eggs, and hung them on his tree. Let's go to reporter to talk more about this.
Or at least they seem to, in the town Saalfeld in eastern Germany, where a man with help from his family has spent a lifetime collecting and creating the seasonal decorations, artfully crafted in a rainbow of colors, with added adornments, some clever, many glittering. But Volker Kraft, who's just turned 76, says now that he's hit a milestone with the number of eggs on his tree, he doesn't plan to try and cram on anymore.
Wir sind jetzt bei 10.000 Eiern angekommen. We've now reached the number of 10,000 eggs, and now there'll be no more because I don't have the storage capacity. I would have to sleep with the eggs otherwise.
Not that he and his wife and daughter intend to stop blowing and painting eggs each spring, a ritual they love. Some do break and need replacing after all, and he also sells eggs for €5 a piece to the thousands of tourists who flock to see the tree coming from far and wide.
They obviously were very motivated and put in a lot of effort, and it's very beautiful. We came here because we read about it in our new homeland. We've been living in Switzerland for a few years now, and it was in the papers.
It's a long way from the 18 plastic Easter eggs Kraft first hung on a sapling back in 1965. Karen Sloan, The Associated Press.
Story about friendship and family. Each year, hanging these eggs up and charging money to look at Easter eggs and selling eggs to the public. Okay, it's tech time. Okay, up first is the iPad 3. Last week it was launched in Australia, and the 4G technical difficulties are having problems and does not work in Australia. Because the 4G itself is copyrighted to Telstra, and the Apple iPad SIM cards do not work with the Telstra network. Okay, now let's just have a look at the Apple iPad advertising campaign. Here it is.
When a screen becomes this good, colors are more vibrant, words are pin sharp, everything is more brilliant. Because when a screen becomes this good, it's simply you and the things you care about. The stunning Retina display on the new iPad.
People in Australia are wanting a refund as they are not getting what they have Apple have advertised, so they are not advertising correctly. So the Australian government is making wanting Apple to stick a sticker saying 4G does not work in Australia. but the 3G does. So it still would work, but it's not as fast as the 4G network. Okay, up next is the flying car. Takes over the car industry. So here is just a little snippet of what their testing facilities look like, and one of their cars which they are launching in the non-too near future. Is all we have time for the world today on road trip. And next episode, we will be broadcasting live from a beach in Hawaii. Let's have a look at a shot from behind the set, which has just made us work so hard of putting together. A couple of our sponsors, Lighting of Ivanhoe, who has sponsored all the staging and lighting and sound equipment. Farewell everyone, that's all we have time for, so see us next time in Hawaii. But that's all we have time for, so see you everyone.